Thank you, Chief. I will begin with a question on where we are with the Tongass inventory. As you'll recall, back in 2015, the Tongass Advisory Committee, recommended that the Forest Service complete a comprehensive stand-level inventory of young growth and old growth on the Tongass in order to determine the volume available and really to figure out how we can transition in a way that works, not only on paper, but on the ground. So in July of 15, the state and USDA entered into a $4 million challenge cost-share agreement to inventory a sample of young growth and old growth on Prince of Wales, $2.5 million to be used to improve forest resource inventory information, and $1.5 to support workforce development. So it's my understanding that approximately 11,000 acres of young growth and 11,000 acres of old growth have been surveyed thus far. The next field season is now gearing up. Now, I've made very clear throughout all these discussions that I believe very strongly that this inventory should have been done prior to the Tongass plan being locked in. But the question for you this morning is just an update on that. When do you expect the inventory sample to be completed? Do you have the resources that you need in this FY18 proposal to complete the inventory? And do you have any preliminary results as to that inventory at this point in time?
Madam Chair, we are moving forward. This year we're doing another 13,000 acres of inventory, and within our budget request, we'll be able to continue to move forward with that in FY18. At this time, I do not have any of those results, but I would be glad to get back to you on that, to be providing, to show you what we are learning as we move forward. So our commitment is to do 70,000 acres.
Do you still think that 70,000 is a reasonable sampling?
I do.
Good with that number?
When I think about how many years of work it will take us to get through that 70,000 acres, and then also based on what we learned from the inventory, that'll also provide additional information as to what else, if we need to be doing more, or even if we need to change the how we're doing the inventory, if we need to adjust how many plots we're putting out there, et cetera. So it's an ongoing process, and we'll be glad to share the information not only with you, but with everyone, with the members of the public, so that they can see what we're learning as we move forward with this transition.
Well, I think that would be helpful in terms of sharing the information, but also making sure that as we're moving forward, again, that the resources are there to allow for the level of inventory that we're all talking about. Do you have any sense as to how much additional funding Forest Service will need to complete the full inventory? Do you have any bead on that?
From the work that we're doing, and now we have the staff trained up and working through the challenge cost share with the state, that I feel comfortable that we have adequate funding to move forward to be able to complete this work. At the same time,
but that's in FY18. You've
Yes.
got what you need to get to the 70,000. But I'm talking about a complete inventory, not just our sample here.
well, based on what we learned from the 70,000 acres, that's when it will determine what additional inventory we need to do as we move forward. But it's going to be part of our ongoing work. But at the same time, to also be able to focus on actually getting some projects implemented, because that's also part of the learning that needs to occur, not only with the inventory, but as we move forward with various projects, that we can be working with the industry to be able to find the right package, the right economic package that makes this economically viable so we can sustain our communities. So it's going to be an ongoing process, not only with the inventory, but also from as we implement projects, what we can learn. I want to share with you that we have one of the big projects this year is being done by the state through the Good Neighbor Authority. And we're actually having state personnel out there doing the cell prep, for that project.